Hello and welcome to Doon Does DVD, and this is Disney Classics number 5, Bambi. When I think about all the Disney films we've watched so far, I have to say that Bambi is probably the one I recall the least about. Admittedly, the next three I know even less about, but we'll get to those when we get there. In Bambi, I know we have a baby deer who has trouble walking at one point, and also at some point that baby deer's mother died. But beyond that, I cannot think of anything else that happens in this film, and I'm starting to wonder if I've ever actually seen the whole thing. No matter how much I rack my brain, I can't think of a single other thing about it. Which also leaves me wondering if it's not perhaps similar to Dumbo, and that there's not actually a lot of story there, and I am already remembering all that there is. I see that the runtime is only 70 minutes, so that's pretty short, so there's probably not actually a lot happens. The poster says the famous book of the month becomes picture of the year, so it obviously does have some source material, although I've never heard of the book Bambi till I read that. It also calls it a great love story, which to be honest I'm not sure how that works with a baby deer. So I guess at this point all I can do is dive right in and find out. Well then, Bambi. I have to say that most of my expectations turned out to be true. The reason I don't remember much beyond there being a wobbly-legged deer whose mum gets shot is because that's basically all that happens. It's a slice of life for the animals in the forest and not actually a lot of story beyond that. And in that way it feels very similar to Dumbo in structure. For the first half an hour of the film, it's just, showing you the life of these characters and introducing the world. And it takes its time about it, padding the runtime as much as it can, I guess. Even stopping to have a song all about rain, which to be fair is probably the most memorable piece of music from the whole thing. The rest of it's all very choral and forgettable, to me at least. When the plot finally happens, it's an important message to consider, but it also disappears as soon as it arrives. Time skips forward to Bambi as an adult, which is something I don't remember happening, and so we never really see any of the consequences of his mother's death. Instead we just get to see him having his own child and continuing the circle of life 50 years before The Lion King. But despite Bambi's similarity to Dumbo in both structure and length, I actually preferred Bambi a lot more, and that's mostly because it had a much higher quality of animation compared to Dumbo. Unlike Snow White and Pinocchio, here the animals feel like animals, despite the fact that they can talk. Previously, the animals in the Disney films felt more like people, but with a few animal characteristics, whereas here it's more the other way around. These are animals with a few human characteristics. And so while not a lot actually happens story-wise, it's beautiful to look at. And sometimes that's enough. And considering what else was going on in the world in 1942, fun and pretty were probably in demand. And so that about wraps up Bambi. It's never going to rank top of my list of Disney films. Not that I'm ever going to officially rank them, but it was very good. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next week with Saludos Amigos, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong, so sorry about that.